Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another Dansky live or design review, whatever we call this stream. Tuesday fun. That's what I'm going to call it. Tuesday fun. There we go. Terrible name. How is everyone doing? Hopefully you're having a good week. Sema says, Adobe Illustrator, the new update has arrived. Mockup is perfect. Everyone will make mascot designs, 3D products. Everything is easier, and this is amazing. Yeah, the mockup feature is really, really cool. Like when we do these design reviews, like so many people kind of mock stuff up, and it's just great as a designer being able to take your logo and throw it on a t-shirt or a mug or a box and just get that different perspective of whether it actually works or not. Reese says, I legit was getting worried because I got a run down to the house and thought the stream was going to start. Dansky saved me. Saved the day by starting at 11 a.m. my time. Oh, you're welcome, mate. We do what we can here. Phew, I thought I missed the stream. Dilshan, welcome. Hello, hello. It's so nice to see so many returning faces. Sabina, Zach, John, Paul Dixon, hello. Rebecca, all caught up and ready for a live. It's been a little while. I know, it does feel like that, doesn't it? I had my mum's birthday last week, and I think it was a few days after the Thursday. I suddenly thought, oh yeah, we didn't do a stream on Thursday. Oh, mad week, but she had a lovely time with the family and everything. So yeah, it was all good. The pumpkins, yeah. Okay, right. So, well, basically, right, it's Halloween today. We've got to go and do the trick-or-treating thing with the boys later on, and I've not got a costume because I'm a boring old fart. But I said to Poppy, like, is there anything I can like have that is remotely Halloween themed? Just anything. just that isn't a bed sheet. And I got these. These are obviously stolen from, politely borrowed from Popinder. Jatty, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween, Mike. These are amazing. Oh, do you know what? That green screen is doing a marvelous job. Good work. Appreciation, man. I've learned so much from your videos. Oh, amazing. I'm so glad they're helpful. Oh, there's quite a few of them now, isn't there? Like 700-800 videos or something. Dansky suits you very well. I know. Do you know what? I think I might just have to open every single video, or even just live my life with two wobbly pumpkins on my head. I do quite like it. Anyway, on to design work. Come on, Dan. Stop waffling on. Right. Oh, we've got some really cool ones today. We've kind of got a bit of a mix of logos, branding, design, logo design process, a whole bunch of stuff. I've kind of saved these ones as well. Some of these they're going to be really interesting. I enjoy the shorts tips. Oh, amazing. That's really good to know. Yeah, I kind of thought, to do the shorts takes me such a small amount of time. And they're just those little kind of tips that don't need a whole video, but, I could teach someone in 60 seconds. Boo. Boo to you too, Nick. 728 videos. My goodness. And to think it started by making videos at the dining table in Spain, or doing a pizza challenge video, or something else that isn't actually publicly visible on the channel anymore because cringe. Oh, that's amazing, Sabina. Awesome. Right. Come on, let's go. Oh, actually, it's a little bit warm in here. I'm going to have to... I don't know why I thought putting a hoodie on would be a good idea in this tiny little room. Right. There we go. Much better. Okay, right. I absolutely love this. First off, I really, really love this. This is so cool. So the logo says Shift. And yeah, I love this kind of subtle sort of S in there. Really interesting use of negative space. And just while we're here, actually, this is a JPEG, so I can't mess around with this. Damn it! But what I can do is go to type and use one of the new features, retype. And this is interesting because it identifies the text here, and hopefully it did it really well last time. So it kind of identifies the text. It's found Not the exact font. Sometimes it will find the exact font. I think this is only searching possibly Adobe's fonts. So if it's like a different font, you're not going to have it. But it's found a pretty close match. And what I can do is select this and click apply. And then I exit retype mode. And what it's done is, if I ungroup everything, it's actually removed the original text from that JPEG, and it's now given me an editable version. And yes, it's not the exact same font. If it had the same font, it probably would have found it. But it found a sort of pretty close match, and it's just, it removed the original version, which was a JPEG, which is pretty cool. It doesn't always work, but it will always give you like some live editable text in its place. Sometimes you'll get like a JPEG mess in the background and you can just delete that. But yeah, pretty nifty trick, because my first thought when I saw this was, I really do like that typeface. That is very nice. Love the orange, but then again, that's pretty much the same color as the Dansky branding, so I'm obviously biased. Yeah, looks really, really nice. So let's go down here. Shift is an activewear brand that revolves around making the athlete feel comfortable to perform at their best. Okay, nice name, Shift. And I don't know if this is a real project or if this is like a fictional brief. I'm not entirely sure. Bahnschrift. So that's the font. We've got sans serif book, FLF. And then we've got the colors here. I'm guessing that one there is the orange, but we can't really see it here. So I probably would have chose a different background color to present the colors, just because it's a little bit, a bit confusing there. Oh, John R, hello. It's purely fictional, just for my portfolio. That's one thing that I've been so impressed with all of these submissions. So many of them are actually just fictional briefs, and like I would look at this and go, that is like a real thing that was produced for a client. It's yeah, really impressive. Love that. Really clean mock-up. Shift, I'm guessing this is some sort of loyalty card or something. shiftactivewear.com. Is that a real web address? Is there anything there if we go there? I'm gonna have to look. shiftactivewear.com. No. Okay. I had to check. Sorry guys, this channel is no use of me. Bye. Oh, okay. Bye, Zach. I could send the AI file if it would be better, Dan. No, that's fine. This is cool. This is cool. I'll only just try and play around with things. Change the game. Yeah, see, even the use of color here is just so smart. Just, everything else is kind of black and white monotone, and that orange is just kind of popping off. Really, really nice. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to seem like I'm gushing over this design too much, but even the label, it's just a really kind of simple, clean, identifiable mark. And I just love the simplicity of it. Really, really cool. And it works great as a label. And as a t-shirt. Oops. Yeah, really nice. Got the tags as well. And nice. We've got that mocked up and we've got that texture coming through there. That is something you can do in Photoshop. You could probably do it in Illustrator as well with a blending mode, bit of blending mode trickery, but just really clean. And actually something else that makes a real difference when you're mocking your work up in a sort of presentation style like this is to actually pick good images to mock stuff up on. But yeah, find some decent mock-ups. Like I know you can get like the free ones, but if you can find a higher quality mock-up, it's like stock imagery. You can get free images, but if you're using a paid stock image, usually it's going to be shot sort of under more professional conditions, and you are paying for that quality. So if you can find somewhere that has high quality mock-ups like these, And look at that. It's just so clean as well. Oh, beautiful. Even the box, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful, high quality box. I wonder if that QR code does anything. I wonder. If anyone wants to have a little, I mean, it's on an angle. I don't know if you'd be able to capture it. If anyone wants to have a go at holding their phone up to the screen, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, just nice packaging design. Your kit has arrived. Beautiful. Then we've got a billboard graphic there. Yeah, really nice. Thank you. My name is John, and I'd like to thank you for viewing my project. Thank you for sending it, John. It's absolutely brilliant. This project showcases various mediums of brand identity, logo design, consistency, color theory, typography, and mockups. I utilized Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator for the majority of the workload. So yeah, Photoshop and Illustrator are literally, as any type of designer, graphic designer, packaging designer, logo design, they are your best friends. They're probably the only two apps you'll really ever need, unless you're gonna do like desktop publishing, brochures, big documents where you'd need InDesign. These two together can pretty much do 90% of stuff that most graphic designers would ever need to do. They got me through a big part of my career anyway. As well as good old-fashioned pen and paper for the original sketches. You can't forget pen and paper. The concept of Shift began in July 23 with the first versions of the logo and a few rough mock-ups. I left the project for a while to work on other things and resumed in September. Oh wow, so you had like a 2-month gap. It took 2 weeks from resuming the project until completion, so about 3 weeks altogether. If your brand needs a defining identity, contact me. I'd love to work with you. And then we have Jonathan's email address. And there's Jonathan's logo. Yeah, really nice. I just, when I saw this, I absolutely loved it anyway. It was just super clean, simple. I think probably the only thing I would look at adding, and this is something that we've seen in some of the other presentations we've had on the channel with these kind of Illustrator or PDF documents, is it would be nice to see how you arrived at that concept. I get that this is more of like a presentation of the final version, the more sort of, I guess, client-facing side of things. But it would be so cool to kind of see the thought process behind the S in particular, that mark, because I really love it. I do. Let's see if we can zoom in and scrutinize it. I think those curves are looking pretty tight, I think. As much as I'd love to be all critical and stuff. I mean, this edge here being sharp and rounded, is that a problem? Should they be the same? Probably not. I mean, I guess if I'm being really nitpicky, you could say an S is pretty kind of symmetrical top and bottom, or however you kind of want to split it. So should they match? But no, that's nitpicking. I'm sorry, that is really nitpicky. Yeah, something to consider. But no, Dan. Ooh, what have I done now? I've pressed a button. I'm just checking the kerning of that S and H. I think that's pretty good. A few pixels to the left, maybe. Maybe not. No, take it with a grain of salt. I'm really clutching at straws here. John, you absolutely smashed it, mate. Well done. That was really good. Orange is my favorite color. Jatty says, nice mock-ups. Reese, I love the color choices. Reese. Oh, you crack me up. Last night I had to Google how to find my favorite fonts in Adobe. Oh, that's funny. Jatty says, I love the textured look. Some do them too slick. Yeah, I think that's one thing I'd love to see with Illustrator's new mock-up feature. It's a great feature. I would just love to see like the, you know, in Photoshop when you kind of mock up a graphic onto like, let's say a wrinkled bit of clothing like a t-shirt. There's a few techniques you can use to actually pull through the texture and the shadows and the wrinkles onto the graphic. So in Illustrator, it kind of warps and it gets the perspective and everything, but it doesn't necessarily bring those shadows through to look like a realistic mock-up. So one thing that I have started doing is I will do the mock-up in Illustrator and use those features, and then I will copy the warped and distorted vector graphic into Photoshop, then blend it through using the blending options that way. Or you can just use multiply in Illustrator. It's not the best, but multiply will blend a lot of those shadows in. So if you've got lots of wrinkles and things, it can make it look a little bit more realistic. Yeah, slick, clean, brilliant. Love it. Nice. Okay. What do we got next? Ooh, what's this one? Brainstormers by Monjurul Hussain. Let's open this in Photoshop. What have we got? A PNG. Oh, Nick tried the QR code. It didn't work. Thanks for trying anyway, Nick. Mike says, look really great, John R. Great portfolio piece. Agreed. Very, very good. After 15 minutes, the pumpkins look normal now. Do you know, I quite like having wiggly pumpkins on my head. Dilshan says, I love Illustrator so much, I made a 70-page magazine in Illustrator rather than InDesign. Okay, Dilshan, how did that go? Did Illustrator handle it, or did it just become really, really slow with that bloated file size? I'd be genuinely curious to know how you found that. I'd like to see the CEO's business card with his 10-word title, his cell and address, the slogan and the logo. I love a good tag. Sorry, not sorry. The tags did stand out to me, Reese. It was, I got to be honest, I appreciate a good, clean, minimalist tag as well. Teacher, your headband, it feels like you were a bee. I suppose, yeah. Bees, do bees have, no, bees have antennae, don't they? Am I asking a really dumb question? You were looking like a bee king by wearing this headband. Hey, ginger bee. I'll take that. I'll take what I can get. Oh, I got them from Mockup World. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've used one or two of those before. Dilshan says, it started lagging a little bit, but it worked out pretty well. Oh, okay. But the time to open the file was way too much for my liking. Yeah, I can imagine. Opening and saving. 70 pages, my goodness. That would be interesting to see that. See if I can open that file. They are stuck now. Right, anyway, of course. Yes, Nick, you're right. Onto the logo. Brain definitely needs less detail. Absolutely, that is a very good point. I mean, it looks cool at first glance, but it's just there's too much detail there. So if I zoom out, and this was going to be on a website, it doesn't really have any clarity. From back here, I couldn't even tell you that that's a brain, Obviously, I know it is, but if I hadn't seen this before, it just, I think with all the kind of lines and the different colors going through it, it needs a bit more clarity. I do like the general concept of having the brain, the lightning, and the lightning striking a certain letter. I do quite like that. And it's very illustrative. I'd say it's probably more of like an illustrative graphic than a logo. I think the The tracking on the text all needs kind of just spacing out a bit more. Yeah, it's a weird one. I can see how this would look really clean if they kind of simplified this brain symbol here and created something a bit more clean and simple that was a brain, that was the lightning, and then removed this kind of two-tone O effect and just had perhaps a single color. I think this could look really clean, actually. I think this would be quite a fun one to have a play with sometime, because and I see this quite a lot, and I try to sort of call it out when we do this in design review, is that even if the execution, you know, isn't quite right and you can kind of nitpick all these different details, a lot of times the actual concept itself is really good. It's really well thought out, it's clever, but it's just that technical execution, particularly in terms of, you know, what a good logo should be. And yeah, and in fact, there's another one actually coming up on today's stream that from an illustrative perspective is really, really nice, but from a logo and branding perspective, like, it needs some work. So I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what you think about that one as well. Colors as well. We've got like what, 7 colors in there? No, 8 plus the gray, and with some shadows as well. So technically we've got about 10 different colors in there, which is quite a lot. Pumpkin Snack 2023. Your pumpkins are... Oh my god, they are. Oh, good spot. They work. Do they stick together? I'm not sure if they've got like Velcro or... No. Well, maybe they just wanted to be stuck together. That's weird. As long as the webcam hasn't frozen again, I think just let's take a second to acknowledge that the webcam hasn't frozen today and the audio is working. Mr. Air says maybe change the brain. Maybe the brain change to flat design, less details, and adjust the tracking. Absolutely, yeah. Just go real clean and simple. I don't know, maybe that would make a good YouTube video, just taking something like this and having a crack at redesigning it, because I think you could definitely make a clean and simple brain icon, something that looks like a brain when I'm viewing it at this tiny size, you know. And I do quite like the concept. Brainstormers. It's a cool name as well. I like that. But yeah, I think it just needs, in summary, the tracking, and i.e. the space between all of the letters, just needs spreading out just a little bit more. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Simplified design, and perhaps a more specific color palette. At the moment, we've got way too many different colors in there. Jatty says, always zoom out when designing logos. You need to space them well. Yeah, that's a really good tip, actually. You know, when you're kind of, particularly when you're looking at spacing, whether it's spacing between different elements, something on a page, or the text and the kerning tracking, just zoom out. For some strange reason, there's probably some science behind it, but when we look at things from this kind of distance, we can see things that are a lot harder to see right up close. I would try to find a way to fit the lightning bolt or the brain or both in that O. That would be really cool, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could have the top part of the O as the brain and then the lightning bolt down here. So I don't know. You could have a brain sort of shape there. That's meant to be a brain. No comments. Do not judge my creative work. I am the design professional. It looks more like a rock. Anyway, yeah, that could be a brain. And then I guess you could have like the lightning coming down here. Perhaps. I think even with that, it wouldn't really make an O shape especially well, but it would still be, I think you'd read it as Brainstormers. Maybe anyway. That's my 5-second idea. Please don't judge me. Yeah, Nick, 10 colours. It's a little bit excessive, isn't it? It's definitely very bright and punchy. And I do love the yellow. I feel like that nice kind of almost mustardy yellow would be quite nice to carry through. You've got to be careful with yellow. Sometimes yellow can, depending on how it's printed and the screen that it's being viewed on, if it's too light, it will just fail every accessibility marker for its contrast. So just make sure you kind of have it dark enough so that it is clearly visible if you are going to be using yellow. Maybe use the S for the lightning. That's a very good point. Yeah, I suppose actually. Yeah. You'd have to kind of come in quite sort of... Oh, that's not too bad. That could have gone worse. Yeah, I suppose. I think the thing about using the S for the lightning is how's that going to look with... How's it going to look with all the other letters? It's going to be quite a different style. And I don't know if you'd want to do... I mean, you could pick a font that is very angular and have all the letters like that, maybe. But I don't know if that's really necessary. Or if you could change the brand, you could call it Brainstormers, Stormers, like, you know, the cool kids do, and then maybe make a Z or a Z for my American friends. Over on the right, I mean, that obviously doesn't look like a Z. You could do like a lightning-y Z that actually looks like lightning. And then have that popping off in a yellow or something. Maybe. I'm hammering the celebrate button. Is that what the heart is? Hang on. Oh no. Oh, I pressed a button. It's asking me to sign in. There we go. I'll just leave that alone. The brain was so close to looking like a cloud too, but it's rotated a bit too far. Yeah, in my opinion, if the brand name is long, it should be separated into 2 lines. Oh, yeah, maybe. I think this is probably just about towing that line, you know. I think you could get away with it. Yeah, obviously, if it's on 2 lines, you've got to then consider, you know, if the word brain is written up here, obviously that's going to collide with the design a little bit. So if you were going to do that, you would need to contain your logo mark or any identifiable kind of symbols within that space, just so it doesn't crash. That would give you the flexibility to be able to stack them and separate them, which is quite nice, because obviously logos need to be used in different ways and viewed on different devices. So it's always good. But if you did have to do this on 1 line, I think you could work with that. It's just at the moment, you know, if this was at the top of a website, this brain is sort of coming up quite high. So I think from a creative graphic point of view, it definitely gets points. It is very creative, almost artistically illustrative, I'd say. And I like the concept, but it just needs refining. It needs refining and just bringing down a little bit, I think. I do like the way that the kind of lightning is striking one of the letters, and it's illuminating that letter. Or you could do a zigzag horizontal break in Stormers. You could do. Oh, what do you mean? Have the word Stormers down there, and then the brain bit would be... Yeah, you could do, I suppose. That would be an interesting treatment. Bit different. Not necessarily a bad thing. Hello, Thomas. Welcome back. Yeah. I mean, of course, I don't have any more context for this, but yeah. Okay, so to summarize, I think sort of, you know, spread the letters out just a pinch, increase that tracking slightly. The brain is just too detailed. It needs to be a bit more simplified. Whether you kind of merge that here with the O and the lightning, or have it kind of just hovering up here, and then the lightning striking the O. You know, I think both of those could work. Or we could replace letters with lightning, so an S or a Z. Couple of other alternative designs. We could stack the text, or we could stagger it ever so slightly. I think this is probably the big thing, is just simplifying everything down. So we're simplifying the design, the shapes, we're simplifying the color palette, definitely. We're bringing those 10 colors down to, I don't know, 3 max. We can still make this plenty colorful with 3 solid, clearly identifiable colors. And yeah, I think all in all, I mean, I think this is just a very clean and simple sans serif font, and it just works. It does work. But we just need that mark. That's the real sticking point, I think. Kevin says fit both the brain and the lightning into the O in the negative space style. Yeah. So I think we sort of played around with that idea. Well, I say played around. It looks terrible, but that was the kind of thinking, which I think would look good. And it's the kind of thing that, you know, if you've got that kind of identifiable mark, you could then, if you, let's say you have an app for this or whatever, or a mobile site, you can use that icon and, or maybe a label, maybe a tag, Reese. You've got a tag, and then you can put the that simple logo mark on the tag. Nick says, how about the word brain somehow meshed into the shape of a brain? I mean, yeah, that would be awesome. Very different concept, but I suppose, yeah, you could try and do something like that. I'm not going to try and do it because it'll be awful, but yeah, like brain. No, damn. Oh god, this is awful. I'm working with a trackpad. Give me a break. Look, just pretend that is a brain, okay? And then you'd have Stormers under there. Yeah, maybe. And then you could even have the lightning striking down up here onto the top of the eye, and it like illuminates the eye. So the B, R, A and the N could be one color, which is one part of the brain. The lightning strikes the eye, which is one particular part of the brain, and that gets illuminated. And then you've got Stormers underneath. That would be quite a different style. I think you'd need spend a lot of time creating something like that. But yeah, I think the word brain would possibly have, you'd need like to do something really custom to kind of give the lettering a much more organic feel. But yeah, I do like that idea. That could be good. Hello, Benjamin. Thank you for joining. We are reviewing logos and logo design process and branding today. Paul says, I think a video where you took ideas like this and improved them would be a great idea. Yeah, it would be fun for me as well, to be honest. Because you may have noticed that when we do these streams, I do have a tendency to start playing around with things and doing all sorts of annotations. But of course, I'm obviously just doing it in the moment. You know, it's the kind of thing that really, if I sat down and spent 3 or 4 hours, I think some of these things I could come up with something quite interesting. Even if it's just a different kind of perspective on a design that someone's already made. Right, let's move on. Oh, this one's interesting. So this is kind of like 2-in-1. Yeah, so I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure if these are 2 different versions. So we've got this here, Droplet, Spa and Salon. And we've got this really nice droplet with the kind of human face and the hair. And we've got the logo in there. And then we've got something similar over here, but we've got a different logo and a bunch of different treatments and colorways. So I'm not sure which one is correct. Or if this is more of like a packaging label or something, but we'll do both. We'll do both because they're kind of similar with the graphic anyway. Benjamin says remove the brain logo and keep the lightning because brain is already in the logo in the text. Yeah, quite possibly. Hey brother, how are you? Very good, thank you. How are you? How's your week going? What day is it? Tuesday. Yes. Not the weekend yet. I'm a Benedict, just so you know. I'm friends with many Benjamins, despite our historical feud. Okay, so right, initial thoughts on this one. The pink, that is quite light. Mike, if you're still here, tell me, what are your thoughts on the accessibility? I'm going to unofficially appoint Mike as the accessibility police. And yeah, I think that's probably towing the line. Down here with this text, that's way too thin. That is definitely not going to pass. Not sure about the repeated logo in the O. Absolutely, Paul. Yeah, repeating that has to go. I mean, do you know what I would probably do? Well, actually, no. First of all, let me just waffle on a bit first before I kind of have a little play. So this is really nice. I think geometrically, like, I know it's illustrative, so you can kind of give a little bit, you know, with that sort of stuff. But the designer in me wants that droplet to just have smooth curves and have a bit of geometric precision, you know. I don't know what you guys think, if you agree with that or not, but just here, I just like that curve to come a bit lower and just maybe come in a little bit there, just to make it just a little bit rounder. And the same thing, this is the kind of thing that annoys me, right? And it's not like a critique of the design. I think this is possibly a personal thing. But here, the gap is just sort of really, really inconsistent. I know hair does kind of have its own mind and do what it wants in reality, but as part of a logo, like, it starts thicker and it comes down, it gets thinner, and then it thickens up again. And that's just something I don't like doing in my own work. And again, like this curve here, I just feel like that could be like a really smooth curve. Do you know what I mean? And that's not really smooth, but just bring it around. We could get like a really nice curve in there. So smooth that if you were to put a circle, sorry, I'm doing this on a trackpad. If you were to put a circle in here, yeah, and use a circle for that, you'd just get this perfect smooth. So I don't think a perfect smooth, that doesn't make sense. You get a perfectly smooth curve. So I don't think we need to go full golden ratio on this or anything. But that's something that I often do when I'm doing curves, is I will use circles or perfect arcs or half circles or whatever, because it just gives me those perfect curves. And I don't have to do it with the pen tool then. You know, I get that precision just from using the basic shapes. And then, like, if a few of these hairs then sort of flick out or whatever and they're not perfect, then that's fine. But I think some of the sort of major curves should have that degree of geometric precision. Like, I love all this round here. You can see I'm terrible with the trackpad. All this round here, these curves, they're just lovely. And this one here, really, really smooth, really nice. So first of all, I would just kind of tinker with some of those. Next, I would just darken the pink a bit more. So let's grab this pink here. I'll probably just bring that to the right and down a bit. You know, maybe not even that much. Maybe that was a bit too much, but I think it just needs a little bit more, you know? So even if we get rid of that middle one, whoa, steady on, Dan. Do you know what I mean? We're just bringing that down a bit. I think for the mark, it's not as bad, but when you get to the lettering, especially that bottom one, which is so thin, first of all, chunk that up. When you have those smaller fonts, especially the thinner ones, having a slightly darker color is just going to help them stand out a bit more. And yes, as Paul said, having the face repeated in the logo is a bit unnecessary. I think you could literally, let's try this. So what you could do is you could have that as the logo, or if I grab this, we'll copy that, and Yeah, that's fine. And then I'm just going to remove this. No, let's go with the eraser tool. And make sure that you select the right layer down. There we go. Scrubbity rub. I should definitely bring a mouse with me next time. What you could do that I think would look really nice. You can probably see where I'm going with this. Let's change that to multiply. Just do something like that, because I think the human brain is very clever, and I think a lot of people would still read that as the word droplet, possibly lowercase. I think you'd have the brain would have an easier time filling in that blank, but I think the fact that it's in the shape of a droplet as well, I think personally that looks quite smart. And then if you in fact, let's get rid of the tagline for now. We'll ignore the tagline. That obviously needs a thicker font and a bit of work. But if we were focusing just on the logo, and I think the typeface as well could do with being just a bit more elegant. If this is for a spa and salon, I think it just needs a little bit more elegance. So these serifs here, they just feel a little bit kind of squared off. And I think personally, a font that is very similar to this, but that just has the more traditional serif kind of coming up and is nice and thin, coming down, and then like this with these nice curves. I think something perhaps a bit more traditional would make it look a little bit more luxurious and a bit more elegant. And if you can find a font that has a few different weights, that would be even better. I don't want to say that this is too bold, but I would be interested to see a version that perhaps maintains the thickness of the kind of main parts of the letters. I can't remember what those parts are called. But then at certain select points like here and here and here and here, the letters are going to be thinner. And then come back for those nice sort of curved serifs. There is a font. What is a font? Now this is probably a little bit extreme. Where is it? This is a font that I used a long time ago. This is way too extreme. It takes that thinness a little bit too far. Where's it gone? Let's do the same color. Yeah, so something like that as a starting point, but then just thickening up those bits that are clearly way too thin. Is there a different weight? No, there isn't. Something like that. It just has a little bit more class and a bit more elegance. Obviously, at smaller sizes, this is going to be a massive no. Could we do a lowercase one? Yeah, maybe lowercase as well. And then pop that up. Yeah, do you know, I think lowercase might even be the way to go. But what you could do is you could take a font like this, even if you can find one that's too thin, and then you could do some work on it. So that is a really good kind of trick. There we go. Pop that in there. Droplet. Beautiful. So I don't know. That's just a possible solution. But yeah, you could start with a font that isn't quite right, and then you can just open it up in Illustrator, convert it to outlines, and then kind of custom design it and tweak bits here and there to make it firstly completely original, but also just, you know, be exactly what you need, rather than doing an entire logo type from scratch, especially if you don't have like tons of typography experience. This is probably a good way to go, because you can find a font that has been done by a professional and you can still kind of tweak it and do things to it, and you're not opening yourself up to making typography mistakes. Does that make sense? We've seen this a few times on Design Review where people have clearly done their own typeface, and you can kind of tell that it's been done manually, because there's sort of basic typographical things that someone with more experience in typography and letter forms, they wouldn't make those mistakes. And I'm saying that as someone who is not like a typographer. I'm not. I do it where I need to, but I don't just go and do like a completely custom typeface for a logo if I don't need to. You know, it's adding extra work for me. And actually, if there's a font that is almost what I'm looking for, but I could kind of tweak it to make it original, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I think Dilshan did that on one of the projects we reviewed recently. I can't remember what it was. It was like, what was it called? Grow and Bloom. It was the gardening tools, and the logo type looked completely custom, but it was like a customized font. Oh, amazing. Thank you, Alex. Thank you for the super chat. Maybe push the tracking slightly. Do you mean on the... I messed this up now. Do you mean on the original design? Push it closer together? Or spread it further apart? What are you thinking? I'm liking that lowercase. Yeah, I think sometimes, especially when it's a spa or a salon, like you can use uppercase and it can still look very classy. But I think just all I would say is be cautious using uppercase and bold for certain brands and businesses. Depends what it is, you know. Like, for example, a lot of sports brands, they're using uppercase, it's bold. They usually sometimes will italicize the text. It kind of simulates movement, that kind of angle. Yeah, I mean, I'm all about kind of, you know, breaking the status quo and let's challenge everything. But yeah, I think sometimes certain styles fit a certain brand for a reason. And sort of, I think going against the grain in those instances isn't necessarily worth it, you know. Bloom and Grow, that was it. Yeah, that one really stood out. I couldn't believe, Dilshan, I could not believe that was like a made-up brief. That was, and it was so specific as well. Gardening tools. I don't think we've ever done anything like that on that channel, on this channel. Gardening tools, and I don't think we'll ever see anything again that is gardening tools. Very specific, but yeah, absolutely beautiful execution. And again, the mock-ups as well. Yeah, they were absolutely brilliant. In fact, I'm gonna show you what I mean. If anyone's just joined in, I need to show you this because it was really, really brilliantly executed. Rather than me just talking about it, I'll show you what I mean. Here we go, Bloom and Grow. So this was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dilshan, this was a typeface, but then Dilshan customized it. So it kind of feels organic and original. And I love the way this comes around here, the W comes around the O, and it just, yeah. And again, kind of similar to the shift design at the beginning, the mock-ups were just really, really high quality. So simple, clean, they look professional. The images look like these images. They look professional. Logo mocked up onto the tools. Yeah, just really, really pro. Alex says, I was thinking on the new one, push it out slightly. The heavy weight of the droplet against the thing type might be slightly unbalanced, just my opinion. Oh, I see what you mean. Just sort of spread it out. Whoa, not like that. Yeah, you could do. Oh no, I've moved the position now, haven't I? I've messed it all up. Yeah, I think combining this beautiful graphic with the text is probably a good shout, because then you can separate those two elements if you needed to. If you wanted it really big, it works on its own as a nice sort of stamp or a watermark, but then you've got the full logo there. and it's the word isn't too long either, so you don't have to worry about kind of multi-line doodahs. Anyway, we've got this one as well, which has the same graphic, very different colors, and we have a different logo here. And this is kind of like, I'm not sure why there's another logo, if this is just a different design. But yeah, I'm not loving this logo as much. This looks more like a leaf than a droplet, and it's kind of two logos in one. I think it should be one or the other. I don't think the typeface is right, and the D looks very, very different, like it's treated differently from the other letters. So I don't want to spend too much time on this, because I think this approach, with a few tweaks, has got more potential. But like this bit, the spacing between the letters and the and is a bit much. I would probably bring that spacing a little bit more like this. Bit of a big gap there. But the nice italicized serif font looks really smart. 100% organic underneath. Yeah, not sure about the colors. As I mentioned, they feel vastly different to this. So, I mean, I get it, tea tree oil and eucalyptus. So there's different flavors here, honey and lemon, tea tree oil. So if these were labels for products, yeah, I suppose you could sort of have different colors that do kind of fit the flavor or the scent, whatever it is. But yeah, I don't really have any more context than this. Can you tell me when live stream will start again? Oh, we do them typically on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Usually at 3 p.m. UK time. Still Not Me says it's actually a leaf for a particular product, I think. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on that one. Right, let's move on. Next up, what have we got? Ooh, this one's a bit different. I love this. Now almost 12 p.m. in Malaysia. Is 12 p.m. Is that midnight or midday? I always forget. Yeah, I love the flavors of soap. Regular soap eater, are you, Nick? Okay, so this one, Level Up. First off, love it. I really do like this. Interesting color choice with the red and the green. I think the green on its own I would probably look at and go, oh, hang on, where have I gone? Oh goodness, I hate how Acrobat works. You literally swipe the trackpad and it swipes through all the pages. I just want to like move around. How do I? There we go. Okay, all right. Sorry, Acrobat, it's me, not you. Yeah, so I would normally look at the green and go, it looks a bit kind of, I don't know, a bit sort of sludgy, a bit snotty. Not sure about the green, but it does kind of work as a border in a weird way. And it's got an interesting style as well. You've got this very, I don't want to say, it's almost sort of retro. I don't know, like the way the letters are very kind of squared off and almost like pixels, you know, but it doesn't look pixelated per se. They've got this long drop shadow on, and the border around the edge. Oh my goodness, Acrobat is being very sluggish. Come on, Acrobat. Come on. Give me my hand tool. Sorry guys, Acrobat's having a moment. It doesn't want to give me the hand tool. And apparently Spacebar does that now. Oh man. Like, how is this a thing? I swear, right, see, there we go. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Yeah, so it's like a really, I don't know how you describe the style. The stroke being inconsistent all the way around the edge kind of bugs me. Especially over here. We've got like all these different stroke widths. But I don't know if that's part of the style. I mean, I'd probably say keep the stroke width consistent all the way around the edge. Or if you want to kind of lean into the drop shadow thing, keep it thin here and then make it a bit thicker on this side. Same down here, that kind of stroke width is a bit inconsistent and the angle feels a little bit off here as well. Like it's getting wider towards the bottom. And I don't like this gap here. That gap should not be there. The one should be nestled in a little bit more, or it should be separate. That gap is just so close, but not quite. It feels like a mistake. Which I don't think is over here, actually. Oh, Acrobat, please just work. Yeah. So kind of like that. That feels, yeah, they should be the same, shouldn't they, really? And personally, I would keep that very, very last outer stroke the same all the way around. But hey, that's just me. Nice little watermark in the background. Crosses and O's. Just really, really subtle. Not too pronounced that it becomes distracting, but not too faint that it becomes hard to see. And I like the fact that this logo can flex. You've got level up on one line, or you can stack it top and bottom. So we've got a nice bit of flexibility there. But let's see it in action. So level up your gains. I honestly thought this was like related to gaming or something when I first saw it. I didn't realize it was going to be like a funky protein powder. And it's just mad. As someone who, like, you know, has bought protein products for like the last decade of their life, to see like a rainbow road or plant food flavored whey isolate is just really refreshing. We've got like the Mario style star here, so it's kind of, I don't know, it feels like, maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like it's protein supplements pitched at gamers, you know? Strong handle. Hey friends, got to run. An agency I contract for just messaged for an emergency meeting with wish me luck. Oh no, Reese, I feel for you, man. Good luck. Love the idea though. Maybe the green could be refined, like thicker a bit. Yeah, I think it could. I don't think there's any downside to just having that green around the edge being a consistent weight. All the stuff inside with the long drop shadow, that's all fine. I think just that outer one being a bit thick would be great. And this is definitely targeting gamers, I think. If it's not, it should be, because we've got the sort of Mario style star, the Mario style plant there, and we've got the sort of palm tree thing, which I kind of feel like it might be a bit Donkey Kong-esque. I don't know if this is a real product, but I really, really want to try one. Oh, Toasty Penguin. This is mine. It's an older work. Would have definitely tweaked a few things, especially that gap. Nicely done, Toasty Penguin. Yeah, it was the idea of protein powders aimed towards a gaming market. Yeah, well, that's obviously why it's appealing to me. Is this a real product? Or is this fictional? If you say fictional, well, either way, I'm going to be really impressed, because I love the concept and the creativity in the execution in these mock-ups. It's absolutely stellar. Really, really good. Fictional. The work you guys are submitting is absolutely brilliant. Seriously, like, it's like, I feel like I should be doing more of this. I really do. It's just so impressive. The amount of projects that people send in, and I'm looking at it thinking it's a real project for a client and it's fictional. Super impressive. Also, I love this kind of effect here. This sort of, how do you say it? Stifling. This sort of stippling effect here on the letters is really nice. I'll probably bring the descender on the Y in front, personally. And you could adjust the spacing there, maybe give it a bit of a gap. One thing I absolutely love, I really, really love the the design of the lettering for the flavors. So Jungle Boogie with the palm tree and that kind of color palette between the browns and the yellows, the Rainbow Road and the plant food with that illustration, they all just feel so unique. And something else I love is the two-tone on the mock-ups. You've got two prominent colors which clearly identify the different flavors. So even though Rainbow Road is just going totally mental with all these colors in the middle, the lids and the kind of the two-tone on the packaging itself, it's just excellent. It's really, really good. And yeah, okay. Oh, I see. So Rainbow Road, and then we've got the packaging down here. Yeah, that is very, very gamer inspired. Toasty Penguin, are you a gamer by any chance? Directions for use. Come on, hand tool. Oh yeah, this is nice as well. Really like this. Oh, hand tool, why'd you have to do this to me? Come on, hand tool. This definitely needs fixing. Like I've been using it. Been using Adobe apps for a long time. I shouldn't be having this problem just viewing a bloomin' PDF. Hand tool. Zoom. Like it should work how Illustrator and every other Adobe app works. You press your spacebar, your hand tool, you move around, you zoom in, zoom out. But instead the hand tool seems to go a bit funky if you start zooming in and zooming out. Yeah, it's like it stops. It brings up this thing over here. Yeah, Command or Control plus or minus, it brings up this zoom slider, and then while that zoom slider is up, it stops the hand tool. But anyway, yeah, so add one scoop, shake, really nice simple graphics. I love that they're all just one color. And for some very small graphics, they've got a surprising amount of detail as well. We've got all the nutritional gubbins here. Not too much to say about that. Yeah, it's just really nice. Nice to see the label and the packaging material flat, and then you see it kind of mocked up, and you have the logo. And that's what I love about these next three slides, is you just have this really kind of clear presentation of each flavor with the background and that watermark being used across them all. So I can just scroll through all of them. And I'm just wishing these could be real. Honestly, if these are real, I would literally order one of these right now, just out of curiosity. Yeah. Even the treatment on the text there. Yeah, it's just really, really cool. So cool. Should definitely be a product. Just a bit. Most of my personal stuff usually leans towards gaming based or sports based. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Sema. The word "your," I think, yeah, on the first slide, the word "your" and the font and the fact it's behind, I feel like that needs kind of moving or tweaking. I'm not sure. Yeah, you could put that somewhere else, or maybe. Yeah, I do quite like the sort of stippling effect, however you say it, on the word "gains." That's quite cool. But yeah, I especially love the actual products themselves. They look awesome. They look so good. Why can't they be real? Ayush says, 3 months into my full-time job, post-intern, I'm handling a heavy workload. My boss advises using templates for speed, causing pressure and self-doubt. How do I fix this situation? I mean, without understanding more information about your circumstances specifically, take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm handling a heavy workload. So I think handling a heavy workload, use your time efficiently. I think and this is something that I experienced when I used to work for a company as well. We had a huge workload, not enough time to do it all, so we ended up having to do things that felt rushed. And we did have to use templates for some things. And I think the compromise was, and this comes down to good communication, so having open and honest communication with your boss or your line manager and explaining the situation, explaining the pressure that you're under, and coming from a place of proactively wanting to put out good work and wanting to find a solution. Whether that solution is, we're going to use templates for these bits here because we can afford to use templates. We don't need to invest all of our creative energy into this. So we'll template some of it, we'll save time, and then by creating more time from doing some of the templated stuff that's less important, it then frees up time to work on the bigger things, the things that actually do need that creative time invested, that are actually going to matter and that will affect the sales or bottom line of the business. So as an example, when I worked at Clark's Shoes many years ago, we had things called category pages for each of the different shoes, and they were literally just like a strip banner with a graphic, a heading, and a title. Basically your H1 and your paragraph text that you'd have. And we used to spend a lot of time kind of designing them all custom, and it was kind of pointless. So in the end, we just kind of automated that process and templated it, and then put all of our effort and our creative time into working on the full pages that promote the new season's footwear and everything. And we still had a lot of pages to do, but it meant we were kind of being smarter with how we used our time on this creative stuff that really needed it versus the stuff that could be templated. I don't know if that's helpful, but hopefully it is. Yeah, and I think doing nothing isn't a solution either, because it will cause pressure, it will build up, it will cause self-doubt, it will stress you out, which isn't fun. Take it from someone who's been stressed probably most of their career. And so I think, yeah, just having that conversation and having that open communication, in a clear and respectful way, and hopefully that they are receptive to that as well. If they're not, and they're a difficult person to work with, then that's well entirely possible, but that is like that's another bridge to cross. My protein do similarly branded protein now at Millions, and like fruit salad, sweet branded with really wild designs. Ooh, fruit salad. I'm gonna have to check that out. We've been eating the My Protein pancake mixture because I'm doing the keto diet at the minute, so really high fat, low carbs, and their protein pancakes are absolutely delicious. They really are. Got the cookies and cream flavor, and I highly recommend cinnamon sugar, I think it's called. Vimpto and a Jelly Belly branded one. Oh my goodness, Vimpto is literally my childhood. Oh, Vimpto. Oh, it takes me back, that does. Vimpto nostalgia. If I see these in the mall, I'd think it was an ice cream or a wafer, but the idea delivers a different feeling. Yeah, I think it does come across a little bit like sweets, doesn't it? But yeah, really nice. Okay. Oops. No. Are you sure you wish to exit? No, don't cancel the streaming software. Let's close Acrobat down instead. Whew. Okay. Next up, another PDF. Cha-ching Academy. So I had a quick look at this one before the stream, and I couldn't really decide how I felt about this. Cha-ching. I feel like, yeah, because I think you got the one C there, you got another C here, and then you've got the A in there. So you got Cha-ching Academy. That's how I see it. But also as a mark, it's very distinctive. And so I was going to ask, what do you guys think about this one? We'll go through the other kind of variations and things in a minute. But just initial impressions, what do you think of this logo? Yes, you're right, Motion. It does give marshmallow vibes. Not this, the other one, the rainbow flavor. My first impression was a G. It looks like an ear. I don't know, Sema. If you've uploaded it, I may have seen it. I've got a bunch of different designs to go through, so I will... business card. I'll keep a lookout for it later. I see it as an ear at first. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, I can see that, actually. G isn't an issue, I think, but an ear. Oh, everyone's seeing an ear. Interesting. Oh, no, we're an acrobat again. All right, I'll try and... Yeah, so concept aside, technically, this bit here feels a bit weird. The width between all the lines is inconsistent. So this outer one here is thinner than this one here. So first of all, with this type of logo, all of these lines should be the same. They're almost pretty much there. They should be 100% perfect. So that's the first little critique. That's pretty minor though. One thing I'm not a massive fan of is this bit here. If this is curving round, I feel like the curve should continue down. It should maintain that width and then go up. Whereas here it kind of straightens out here and it just doesn't do that anywhere else on the design and it feels weird. My only other question is, I feel like they've closed the top one here because it actually works as this kind of one continuous line, which I do like. So I was going to suggest opening that up so it matches the bottom. Is having that match the bottom so it's kind of like more like a letter C more important than having it all as one continuous line? Is it important having the whole thing as one continuous line? Yes, it's kind of clever, I guess. But I don't know. Those are the kinds of questions that I'd be asking. And this is the kind of logo that definitely would work as it is stacked. And then we could put this alongside to the left. And it will work just fine. And we do have five other pages I'm just going to go through as well. So what have we got? We've got the main logo. Okay, there we go. So yeah, it is the C, and the A. And yeah, this is what I like. And this is what I would love to see from your concept, John. The shift concept is just, I know it's probably, I mean, it could be client facing, but I'd just love to see the kind of how you reached the S shape, because I love that so much. I'd love to see the thought process behind it, even if it's just, you know, like a real kind of top level view. Dansky, can you point out any mistakes in my design? Where should I upload the file for? So what I'm going to do is going to do one more week of review, and then I'm going to I'll try and speed through a whole bunch of designs next week. We'll try and get through as many as possible. And then I think probably next week, maybe the week after, depends how much I get through, I'll open it up again. I just want to make sure that I get through as many as I can before opening it up. So all I would say is just follow the channel, keep an eye on the community page, and or just check in every Tuesday, because on the Tuesday, that's usually the day when I'll start or stop the submissions. So just, you know, if you're not sure, just check in on a Tuesday on the streams and see if submissions are open, and just make sure you're ready. But I will announce when submissions are open again. Unke says, I thought of it like some kind of related to the restaurant for food. Oh, restaurant, really? Interesting. Yeah, interesting, because yeah, I'm not getting that. That's interesting. Even the colors seem very, From the colors, I'm getting more sort of finance or legal finance, something very kind of business oriented, and not necessarily food. Toasty Penguin says it gives the impression that it's an outlined sea with a single stroke inside it. I will send it properly later. Okay, awesome, Sema. To me, I think the inconsistency between the C and the A makes that more appealing. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I suppose it makes it a little bit different, doesn't it? I do like the fact it's all done in one line as well. It's even just this, you know, I can see the methodology behind it. It's pretty clever. I like it. Let's go to the next page. Cha-ching. Okay, so there we go. We've got a version with it alongside. I'd probably just push the mark to the left a bit more. Just give it a tiny bit more space. But that's a real nitpick. Just give it a bit more breathing space. Yeah, typographically, I think it works. It's a clean... you could try a few different fonts, but in terms of the colors and the different weights, the Cha-ching Academy, there's a clear separation between those two kind of elements, the brand name and the Academy side of things. The spacing between the two lines, yeah, I think that feels good. You could tighten it up a little bit, but maybe not with the kind of the letter spacing on this word below. So I think spacing wise, that looks good. Maybe just push, that's the word I'm looking for. Push the mark to the left ever so slightly, just so it has a bit more breathing space. But yeah, as you can see, it works in one color, which is good, and it stacks as well. So nice to see those variations. So we've got the stacked, and we've got the more horizontal version. And this kind of symbol as well, you could even use that as a watermark. You could have it repeated, kind of like the level up design that had the subtle watermark in the background, or you could just blow it up really large at like 5 or 10% opacity and just have like a subtle watermark as well. Not necessarily on this presentation, but I think when you're doing business cards or any printed literature, you've got like a really interesting mark there that you could use just to sometimes it's fun just to add a bit of visual interest to something rather than just having flat colors, you know. App icon, yeah, that works really well as an app icon. Very very clear, very identifiable. I guess, yeah, I suppose. I mean, I'm sure you've probably tried this already, but I guess you could continue this on and just maintain that same width all the way around. So just continue that dark greeny blue line just a little bit further, maybe. And then I can't remember what it's called, but maybe you could have that little sort of part of the A come up there. I don't know if that would kind of ruin the design a bit, but if there's a way that you could have that so it becomes more identifiable as an A, maybe that might ruin it, but that's just kind of something I would explore. But yeah, looks pretty decent. I don't think I've got any more context for what this is. No, that's the only thing I would say to this one is just add a bit of context, please. Just even just a one-line sentence on a page explaining kind of what this is, the brand, the business, that kind of stuff. I'm guessing it's like about some sort of financial education institution or academy. That would be my guess, but with the food and restaurant comment, I found out that it has the swirls kind of look like a MasterChef logo. Okay, let's have a little look. MasterChef. So I cannot remember what that logo is like. It's funny how our brain kind of like recalls thing. Oh, right. I see. Okay. So now we know you're a fan of MasterChef. Yeah. I mean, that MasterChef logo is interesting in itself. Probably worthy of a little bit of critique, I think, actually. Just looking at it. Yeah. But yeah, I can see where you would kind of draw that connection. Right, cool. Nearly an hour and a half. My goodness, that has gone quick. How has that gone so fast? Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you so much, Alex, for the super chat, and to everyone for joining the stream. And as always, thank you for so many great submissions. These are a ton of fun to do. And even just reviewing them and just looking at them makes me want to start getting creative. So it's really inspiring for me as well. But yeah, have a fantastic week. And what are we doing this week, actually? Let me just check. Yeah, should be good for Thursday stream. So I'll let you know if anything changes. But yes, unfortunately, the stream is going to end now. Enjoy trick-or-treating later, Dan. Thank you for the feedback. You're welcome, John. Thank you for sending in such an awesome project. I forgot these things were even there. I'm probably going to have to wear these out tonight, I think. Enjoy the chocolates and sweets. I can't. I'm on keto. No, very, very low carb diet, so no chocolate and sweets for me. Oh, cheers, Rebecca. Thank you. And you. Yes, I'm going to try and do one Thursday, but if anything changes, Summer, I'll give you a shout and let you know. Right, cool. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic week, guys, and I will catch you later on. See ya.